chicken soup.
Brittany, I told Brittany, and she was like, okay, help you feel better.
Hey, so today is December 22nd, and I'm home today, not working. And because I worked and then I just was so cold, I had chills when I came home, and I was just so tired, and we ate, and I pretty much just went to bed. Tonight, I'm doing a little more of my ritual work. And I don't have everything that I need for my ritual work, but I will make do because I love to have the incense of frankincense and myrrh to work with at Solstice. For those of you who are Catholic and attend Midnight Mass, you know that beautiful, wonderful smell. And we use it also, pagans, at Shawan to help open the veil between the living and the dead, and organic and inorganic matter. So the consciousness that may pre-exist what the density of matter that we inhabit um, can communicate itself, like I talked about in one of, and I think my last video, to the brain via typically the left hemisphere. So that visionary work is, there are times of the year when that visionary work is particularly potent for shamans or visionaries, healers, etc. And obviously solstice is one of them. And so yeah, I'll be doing some work tonight, some opening of my consciousness, prayer, meditation, probably do some yoga asanas, lots of candles, um, lighting my Yule lamp outside. Um, we might be putting up our tree, depending on how my kiddo feels, because he's been a little under the weather. But I just wanted to invite you to celebrate my whole solstice season with me. And I wanted to mention also something that, because as we go into the new year, it's a big time for resolutions for people. And I got into a conversation with a woman, a client coming through yesterday at the gym, and she mentioned the difference. We talked about the difference between intentions and resolutions, and she gave me 3 questions that we can use as an alternative to, I want to lose 10 pounds this year, or those kind of like very resolute like demands we make of ourselves, to change at the new year or whatever. So these questions, I want to share them with you because I thought they were really pretty potent. So they are: what do I want to carry over or continue into this new year or new phase of my life? So for instance, if you've got some good habits that you're proud of yourself, make sure you prioritize those as something you want to continue to give energy and potency or tweak. The second question is, and this is kind of a big one, I'd say that this is probably the hardest one, is what do I want to stop? Or what behavior do I want to lead toward cessation in the coming year or period of my life? I think a big one for most people is smoking cigarettes, or any kind, like drinking too much, or sugar, eating too much sugar, which is a really big one for me. I love my sugar, but I do know that it's inflammatory and not the best for me. But you know that I'm not like, I don't believe in like cutting food groups. I believe in adding healthy food groups, but still, sugar's a tricky one. But anyway, the point is, what do I want to stop? And then, what do I want to start or initiate? So, like, instead of saying, I want to be ripped in 2025, we might say to ourselves instead, I want to hit the gym at least twice a week, because that's a really doable goal for most people. If you know, or even if you don't go to the gym, because a lot of us find the gym quite intimidating. I know I do. Even though I just joined one and started working there, I still find it intimidating to go down there. So I totally get that. I mostly work out at home. So what do I want to start? I might want to, for instance, start stretching 3 times a week for half an hour, and then schedule that in, which is something I'm just adding to her, because the three are really powerful on their own. Once you name those, then you start doing the micro steps to break it down. And if I may, I would suggest my book is actually pretty good at helping you find ways to break that down into doable steps. Um, and of course, we're all always in process, always in process. So that's one of the things about the stages of change metaphor, is that it's a spiral, because you're gonna go back down and up, down. That's just, we're human, you know. But you will also see progress if you're consistent, and I think that's a big word that I kind of might want to like chew on this year. I think that's another thing, is somebody on another YouTube, and I can't remember who it was. I watched so many good ones. Said, what is a word, one word that's like a very empowering, inspiring word that you want to carry into the new year? So that's another thing besides like these 3 questions. What do I want to carry over or continue? What do I want to stop? And what do I want to start? And those are just really good beginning points for something. And then you break it down. And then another big, I guess, meta idea would be, what is a word that I want to carry into the new year that's empowering, grounding, healing, leads me towards something, renewing? A word that you want to work with, that you want to enliven and embolden in your own life for the new year. So I really just wanted to share that with you, and then just share, a little bit of my ritual work. I'm actually not going to be able to do some of my ritual work because so much of it involves incense, which I don't have this year. But you know what? That's another thing that I think is wonderful about being pagan, is that it's just of the earth. So one thing I did do this today was I'm engaging in a little bit of tea, ritual tea. I'm having a little bit of mulled wine, and I want to show you. I trimmed some branches and dressed my lamp for Yule. The theme that is universal among all of the winter celebrations is the return of the light and the celebration of light, and just how important the energy and warmth of the light is to us as humans for our survival. And prehistorically, one assumes before Copernicus and the understanding of the revolution of the Earth around the sun, it's kind of conjectured that ancient peoples believed that they were beckoning and appealing to the sun to return by offering wheels of woven twigs and greenery and burnt offerings and savory offerings, etc. And I believe that they probably knew a great deal more than we give them credit for, but clearly, universally, the return of the light is what we celebrate. And so, as we are at the bottom of the wheel of the year, we sit for just a minute, kind of like when you're on a ride, like on a circus Ferris wheel, and it sits for just a second to tease you a bit at the bottom, and then you go back up toward the top of the sky, and of course then you will come back down. But this period of solstice that we celebrate is that little lull, that kairos time of holy seconds between seconds, if that makes sense.